My brother lost everything for a promise that never existed. My older brother David always promised our dying grandfather he'd restore his vintage 1965 Mustang. I was there when Grandpa grabbed David's hand in that hospital bed, oxygen mask fogging up as he barely whispered, "That car in my garage, son. She's waiting for you. Been sitting there for decades, but she's got good bones. This car will bring our family back together, just like the old days." David took those words like gospel, like they were carved in stone. The day after the funeral, while the rest of us were still processing the loss, he was out there in Grandpa's dusty garage at 6 a.m., staring at this rusted shell of a car that honestly looked like it belonged in a scrapyard more than a driveway. Paint peeling, engine seized, interior completely shot. But David saw something completely different. He saw Grandpa's legacy, his final mission, his chance to honor the man who'd raised him after our dad deployed overseas for 2 years. He dropped out of engineering school junior year despite having a 3.8 GPA and multiple scholarship offers from major universities. Our parents absolutely lost their minds, begging him to reconsider, threatening to cut him off financially. But David was obsessed beyond reason. Grandpa believed in this car, he'd say every single time they fought. He trusted me with his most precious possession. I'm not letting him down. He got a job at Murphy's Auto Shop on the rough side of town, working brutal 60-hour weeks for $12 an hour under this old school mechanic who treated everyone like dirt. David's hands were constantly covered in grease and cuts, but he never complained. Every single paycheck went straight into that Mustang. New engine block, complete transmission rebuild, chrome bumpers that cost more than most people's monthly rent, custom leather seats hand-stitched by this guy in Detroit. I went off to college on a full ride, while David lived on cup noodles, peanut butter sandwiches, and whatever expired food he could get from the deli where his friend worked. He'd send me progress photos constantly. A freshly painted fender here, rebuilt carburetor there, new suspension system, vintage radio restoration, always with the same caption, "Grandpa's dream coming true, one piece at a time." His girlfriend Jessica stuck around for 2 painful years, watching David choose car parts over date nights, vintage chrome over her birthday dinners. She wanted a ring, a future, maybe just one vacation that didn't involve driving 8 hours to some random car show in Ohio. When David spent their anniversary fund on a rare intake manifold, she finally snapped. She left him a note on the windshield of that half-finished Mustang: "I can't compete with a dead man's ghost." By 28, David was back living in our childhood bedroom with the same Star Wars posters from high school, working a series of dead-end jobs just to fund his obsession, but still dumping every spare dollar into chrome and leather and paint. Our parents worried constantly, having hushed conversations in the kitchen about interventions and therapy, but what could they really say? He was honoring Grandpa's dying wish, keeping a sacred promise. The Resto-Mod forums became his entire social life. He knew every bolt specification, every paint code, every upgrade that would make Grandpa proud from beyond the grave. He'd stay up until 3 a.m. researching original hubcaps on eBay, bidding on trim pieces from collectors in Arizona, corresponding with other Mustang fanatics who spoke in part numbers and production dates. Friends got married, bought houses, started actual careers with benefits and retirement plans. David polished vintage door handles and dreamed about the day Grandpa would smile down from heaven. Last month, after 6 grueling years of obsession, sacrifice, and single-minded determination, David finally finished it. He called everyone: parents, cousins, aunts, uncles, family friends, even Jessica, though she politely declined. "This is it," he said, voice shaking with excitement and exhaustion. The big reveal, Grandpa's masterpiece. The car looked absolutely incredible when he pulled that tarp off. Candy apple red paint job that reflected the garage lights like a mirror. Chrome so bright it hurt to look at. Interior restored to showroom perfection. "Grandpa would be so proud," David says, running his hands along the hood with tears in his eyes. He starts the engine. It purrs like a dream, this perfect mechanical symphony. David's crying happy tears, talking about how this moment makes every sacrifice worth it, every missed opportunity, every relationship that fell apart. We're all taking photos congratulating him. Even our parents seem emotional, hugging him tight. The car truly was a masterpiece. Then my dad pulls me aside, his face white as paper. "I have to tell him," Dad whispers, hands shaking. "I can't let him keep believing this lie." Turns out Grandpa bought that beat-up car for $200 from Johnson's junkyard the week before he died, feeling overwhelmingly guilty about never spending quality time with David growing up, about all those missed baseball games and school plays because of work. It was supposed to be a few casual weekend projects together, maybe change some oil, replace a headlight, teach David how to use basic tools. Simple bonding time between a grandfather and grandson, not a life-consuming mission that would devour 6 years. David spent $40,000 in his entire 20s restoring random junk because of a deathbed story that never existed.